This video was sponsored by Enhance, NeoWatt, ABRP, Elbilmek, Kempower and EB Hub. And the free airport parking still applies. Yeah, here we have cars. You know, I think actually I want to invite more people to come and park here because it benefits me in many ways. I can test some cars. This Model S has been sitting here for around 9 days now. I want to test the Vampire Drain. You can see based on EL, this is slightly older, possibly I don't know, 6 months older than Millennium Falcon. And it hopefully, I think the owner has not opened the app, but do we have any suspension problem here? The low rider? What is that? Roost? Okay, well, okay, anyway, and also this Leaf arrived a couple of days ago. He's staying here for about a week, and then after that, this is 40 kilowatt hour Leaf, by the way, the AKA Rapid Gate. No. After that, he's driving to Trondheim, so he was going to drive via Gudbrandsdalen, and I said, no, you should take the shorter route via Østerdalen, especially for Leaf. That benefits him greatly. Shorter distance, less charging. So he mentioned that earlier this summer, he went on some long trip, and then at the last charging session, he got only 15 kilowatt, took 2 hours. I was like, oh, I feel you, brother. So it's at 70%. I will charge him up before he arrives, and then, you know, keep it outside so it's nice and cool, so that he has the best starting position to travel 470 kilometers to Trondheim, right? And then here, look. Oh, the Model 3, I don't know, it's just here, but I invite you guys to come here because this benefits me, like I mentioned. I can make some videos. I can use the Model 3 here to check out some, I think I have a key access, very convenient. He has the sexy knob here, but I can use this car to test, to review some Jova products like the air vent holder or whatever. So yeah, you're welcome to park here. And if it's okay for you, for me to just review some stuff, that's okay, you know. The owner of the Leaf, the guy here said that it's his mother's car. So first he was a bit reluctant to to hand over the key. I said, I just need the key fob in case I need to move the car. I'm not gonna go on a 500 kilometer challenge with it. Don't worry. But yeah, so you can contact me at Teslabjorn at gmail.com. I think I don't want to type it in the description, because then it seems like the bots and the spammers tend to get that and start spamming me. But okay, I will show you here. So it's a little bit house update also. So since last episode, 1 week ago, we have purchased these rips, Johannesbeeren, and planted them here. These three, they are the red Hollands, not the whatever it's called again. There was another type, Junker van Tits or something. That was the one that yields the most berries. But then this is the roughest. It has the H8 when it comes to roughness. They almost never catch any diseases. It can withstand extreme cold winters, snow, you know, whatever, which is perfect. Wind also, you know, no problemo here. So we search, I Google about this. You have to dig a hole deep enough and then mix the fertilizer, kujødsel, with the soil we already had. And leftover soil, I'm just gonna dump it here. And then we put also this, I think they call it mulch. Yeah, it's just bark, you know, and you also have to clear that part because you don't want the bark to be direct contact there, because then there is a chance of fungus or something, right? So I think we've done everything correctly now for the best position, starting position. And so we water them several times per week. You have to check also. Just to make sure that they start growing the roots strong enough and they can be nice big plants. And each of these, the red Hollands will yield around, I think it was 6 to 10 kilograms of berry on each bush. Yeah, and this fourth one is slightly different because these other ones, they will have the red berries, but here you get the white berries. I think we had them this little plant actually had some berries when we purchased, but Isabel and Axel, they have scavenged all the berries. Yeah, they're gone now. Shit. So it's like albino. It will have a sweeter taste on these versus the other ones. But I also Google about this. Ripsbuske, Johannesbeeren, they love lots of sunlight. And this is perfect because this is the south wall. So we get the direct sun plus the sun bouncing off here. So that should yield really nice, lots of berries, also sweet berries. Oh, I hope they can survive the wind. It's quite strong today. Let me show you something here. Okay, see now we are on the low side of the house, and here we have rognebær. They grow everywhere in Norway. You notice them. Now in August, they get these berries, big chunks of berries, and they become red after a while. And these berries, they're full of nutrition. And the only problem is that they are really, really sour and bitter. So you can eat them like this. But you don't want to eat too much because you can get some stomach problems. But what you can do is you can freeze them. And after one night or one day, the enzymes here, actually the cell walls, they break down, and then the bitterness reduces greatly. After 3 days, you achieve the full or the maximum bitterness reduction. So I've actually harvested some of these and started eating them, a little bit at least. Kids are eating some blueberries. Yeah, nice. Okay, welcome to Teslabjorn's cooking channel. So today for dinner, we're gonna have some sticky rice with pork chops and also some meat, pork, yeah, whatever it's called. But okay, so I'll start with this. This has been soaked in water now, the sticky rice. There's a special type of rice you need to use. It's been soaked in water overnight, actually. Ooh, it's been in the water for, wow, actually, like 20 hours. Just have enough water. And I love induction stove. When you put it on P, it runs at 3.7 kilowatts, so it boils the water really schnell. And then while that is going on, I'm going to mix some spices. Do this thing here. It's ancient. This is ancient Chinese secret. Yeah, I inherited from my mom, so you know, it could be 60 years old or maybe even older. It's priceless. It's just hard rock. So you're gonna mix some whole coriander seeds, and then some paprika. Not sure how much. And the meat or the pork is already salted, so we don't need to add too much salt. Otherwise, it's going to be too salt for the kids to eat. And then some garlic powder. I know, just eyeball it. And then you shouldn't crush it, because if you do it like this, it's gonna, you know, go all over the place. So we have to do this, at least in the beginning. This is the way to grind it carefully. So Isabel is observing what's going on. Okay, Isabel, you can try to grind it like that and then twist it. And that should be nice spices for the meat. Well, Axel wants to join also. Oh, okay. And now it seems like the water boiled. That took, oh shit, yeah, that took only about a minute-ish. Then I take one piece of the pork chops, just apply the powder, just try to spread it out a bit, just to get some seasoning. And they should be good, and then just, yeah, like this. It doesn't, like, it's not gourmet food or anything. And then we're gonna air fry it. I prefer doing it outside because there tends to be some smoke in here. I don't want it inside the house. Go. And then I want to have a sauce for the meat. This is for the adults. So we crunch some garlic. Fresh garlic is the best. It releases some wonderful flavors. And then after 12 to 15 minutes of steaming, oh, that was just in time. It just boiled dry. Okay, but it's good enough. Then I usually do this. Just put some water on top here. I mean, traditionally you have to have this bamboo thing, but the rice just sticks in the bamboo. It's like, but there, I just use this, smooth the surface, easy to clean. Just wanna vent out the steam a bit here in the rice, and you don't want to poke it too hard. You want to just carefully lift it up to get more surface area and yeah, get it slightly even, because the bottom here tends to be slightly soggier than the top. So then you try to distribute it slightly like this. And I just get some water in here so it doesn't stick too much. Yeah, just leave it there for a bit, and then I'm gonna convert the sauce. So here, we just take this. We've been saving it from mama, you know. Wifey put also oil, okay. But like, many times I use the mama, but then, or noodles, I mean. But then I don't use the chili, and it's perfect. Just use one portion chili in here, in this. Oh yeah, and then some lemon. Yeah, squeeze some lemon in there. And then the last ingredient I use is just Golden Mountain seasoning sauce. You could use maybe fish sauce if you prefer that instead. So eyeball it roughly like this. And then you mix it. And the sauce is ready. And then we can taste it. You take a piece of sticky rice like this, and then dip it in the sauce. It has a saltiness, the sourness, the chili, and the garlic fused together. That with meat is just perfect. And now how is the pork chop doing? Oh yeah, okay. Careful, very hot, very hot. Achtung! So then just want to flip them. Yes. The kids love the fatty part. So. Okay. So then in there again. I want to set it to 4 more minutes. That's 8 plus 4. And then wash my hands in between. And then I think the rice should be okay now. Yeah. So then we just put it in one of these containers. Also, traditionally, there is this bamboo thing you put in there with a piece of cloth, but whatever, this is good enough. There's nothing wrong with a bit of microplastics in your food, right? Shit. Okay. The pork chops are done. Wifey need to split them a bit so they cool down faster. Yeah, the kids, they love this. They get fed up with the food really fast. So if you have pasta one day, next day they don't want to eat it. But in general, I like sticky rice and the meat also. Yeah, just get in lots of fat and protein. Yeah, it's good for the kids. Man, I realized I should have purchased more Festies while I was in Sweden. This is good stuff, man. Yeah, well, I mean, it's basically just 95% water, but still. Festies. And now I'm gonna make a fruit blend. So we have in the freezer here, it's been here for several days. Yeah, Rognebær. So it has lost most of its bitterness. I could even just eat it now. So at least the way I prefer it is here we have washed some raspberries. I'm gonna put the raspberries in the blender first. And then just not too crazy amount. I think this should be enough since the kids will also have this. So the first mix here is kind of sour, maybe a slight hint of bitterness. But then the watermelon now during summer is very nice and sweet. And I found out that if I mix these together now, it becomes wonderful. You get a nice mix of sweet, sour. Alloy, mai? Alloy. Yeah, they like it. Alloy. Yeah, they get some fibers, some minerals and vitamins also. And what is important is that Rognebær I do not cook it, I freeze it, so we preserve the vitamin C. And here's the cup from Statistics Norway when we worked there. Yeah, what happened to my name? Bjørn Nyland. Seems like someone didn't use UTF-16. Okay, let's try it now. How is this, huh? I like it. Yeah. Nice sweet and sour taste. And there's some pieces of the grinded stuff in here, you know, the seeds, whatever. Go straight into the system. The kids, they love playing together. This is why we try to get them close in age, 2 and 4 years old. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it. Now you see a glimpse of what usually happens on a Sunday. Yeah, there's one of the Sundays. And then tomorrow is Monday, and I will do Sunday driving of the GLC. Because remember that every day is a Sunday driving opportunity for Norwegians. So that's gonna be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.